it's good to have you guys here today. We have a special announcement for you two, which is really great. I'm really happy to hear that you guys are both officially coming to LPT Realty.
Yeah, super excited. Definitely was a decision that I feel like I made thoroughly. Did my homework, got a lot of information. That took me a little bit. I'm definitely not too impulsive, so I do want everybody out there to know that. Same thing when I went to EXP. Actually, I vetted it out. It took me a while. Didn't really ever see myself leaving. I've had a lot of other offers and things come my way, but I felt like this was definitely a no-brainer.
Right.
So.
And, I mean, you could have mentioned it, right? You took your time. I think it was like 4 months, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And what was it during that time period of that 4 months that you were kind of diving into, looking at, making sure everything was right?
Really just, I think, making sure that I understood the model completely, especially the marketing and branding side of things, but and just making sure that mostly that it was the right move for my team, that it was the right fit, for my agents and my admins, but two, taking note or noticing during that 4-month period who else I saw coming on board throughout the country.
Sure.
So that kind of told me a lot when I'm seeing people that I look up to as mentors and bigger producers than myself or my team, big brokerages making the move. And again, these are people that had plenty of opportunity to go over the years to make a move to like EXP or Real and declined. So I started really noticing, okay, there's a trend here. These guys have been pitched everything else, why LPT?
Yeah. Because you have a big team. You got 25 agents, $150 million. Like, you're a big, massive team. So you definitely saw value in LPT where you were like, hey, this makes sense, right?
Yeah, okay. Absolutely. Yeah. But again, too, I guess there's a credibility side as well to it when I saw others making the move, and it's never easy for any of us. And then, Kirby comes along, takes a look at it, and, made his decision pretty quickly. Yeah, and that told me a lot because, I have a lot of respect for him, bigger team than mine.
Yeah.
We've known each other for a while. Again, same thing. He's been pitched everything, by everybody.
Yeah.
And, I know he's a smart guy. He really understood the stock side of it better than me, too. So he even kind of, walked me through that from that angle. So
that's awesome.
Uh-huh.
Now, well, let's talk about Kirby, right? So your decision was much quicker than your 4-month one, right? I mean, what was it about LPT that you saw that you were just like, this is it? This makes sense? Because we are teams, right, underneath other brokerages. You're actually an independent, right? You had your own brokerage.
So I've been independent since 2016, and even before that, I was only another brokerage for 1 year. This was prior to the EXP type model brokerages, but I was approached by EXP 2016, I think it was, in San Diego, and wish I honestly would have made a move then, but I had just started Scope for Realty, and so much stress and everything goes into opening a brokerage. I was a brick wall they hit with, and I knew of what was going on with iBuyers as that was about to hit the market, so I wasn't even caring about it because I thought that market was about to come in. And then I'd been watching Chris with when you made the move, and I watched your videos, and then I researched it, and I was just watching certain players, like Anthony said, that are, because we're a Zillow Flex team, and super hard metrics that we achieve, and very proud of my team for that. But I watched the other teams that are even blowing our numbers out of the water. And so many of them have gone to LPT or they're under EXP. So I didn't like the other models from other brokerages out there when it got down to the rev share and for my agents. It was top heavy. And that's when you talked in your videos, I paid attention to that because they seemed like multi-level marketing companies, not real estate companies. Mm-hmm. And so the whole focus of real estate first with LPT was like a huge thing to me because my clients are always number one and our customer experience and then conversion, and conversion comes down to that customer experience. So I was honestly sold on the building of the company and like what they were representing before I even knew most of the tools that they had. Then when we all met and we got into the deep metrics of actually what LPT is, the value that they're bringing to a broker owner like myself, to replace the hassles of owning a brokerage on my own and liability, and with the value that they add to my agents. Once I saw the LPT product, which is, when they watched the video, Listing Power Tools was before LPT as a real estate company. And once I saw the quality of it and the psychology behind it, which is something that I have always been one. I've never chased listings. I've always been an internet lead guy. I'm good at tech. I'm good at phone. I'm good at selling out there. I suck at print. I suck at coaching. I suck at, you name it, open houses. And so when I saw the psychology and how they built everything, and that's included with every listing for a shipping and handling costs, I couldn't create that box. And the amount of stress that would go into me trying to perfect it the way they did would take me years. And that's just not my forte. I don't know that stuff. So that was a huge added value. And then the downline, being able to go to my agents minus some weird algorithm. Basically, you sell a house and you cap, you're real estate first, you're going to get revenue share from one person to 7 lines down. And currently, I think it's 20 states as we're talking now. I think we're, because you were already in that 20.
Yeah, we're coming in, I think we have like 8, 9 states currently, and we're about ready to have 20 by the end of the year. That was announced a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, and 6,000 plus agents. So it's going to spread fast, and instead of being on the back burner of one of those other models that I saw friends do very well in, I want to be in it. And to be honest, our contract with Flex is going to explode this next year. We just became an enhanced market on October 25th. There's a lot of stuff happening with Zillow. And my focus right now for my livelihood and my agent's livelihood is better focused on the actual sale and the consumer than dealing with, as a broker owner, an EMD case between a buyer and seller. That, and to be honest, it's usually a self-gen deal. It's usually, you don't make any money on it, and it's lawyers versus lawyer. It's just a pain in the butt. And I'd rather have a brokerage that's supporting that than me deal with it, and be able to focus just more on the intricacies of how do I make my agents more money. And that's what I like about LPT.
Yeah, I think that, and that's a really cool thing I love about LPT, right? It's about taking care of our team, because I've learned a long time ago, if you take care of your team, the team takes care of you. And I do feel you kind of mentioned about, some of these other rev share companies that are a little top heavy, right? And that's why I looked at this model, and it just made so much more sense, not just for myself, but for my team and my partners, right? And that's what really drove me to it. And then also, like you mentioned already, was real estate first, which I kind of find a little hilarious out there. There's some other companies out there that are like, oh, no, you have to pay your cap first before you get rev share. I'm like, in what world does that not make sense, right? We're real estate first. We should be doing business. We should be paying that cap and doing that stuff. So that was really speaking to my language, too, when I heard about that.
Well, in a big form, when we signed the contracts, agent attraction pledge, I love it that I actually have to, because we recruit heavy. Recruiting is like one of our number one things. I was coached by a very formidable coach. KFR, keep fucking recruiting. And with it, though, we were always class, and we just do value. We don't target brokerages. We target everybody, and we just try to show in our recruiting text and emails, everything, just value, and let the agents make the choice. Yep. But they actually have an agent attraction pledge that keeps it from being, I call them leeches, or non-producers are just trying to do that sponsorship style, and that I would make fun of before. This doesn't allow them to do that. You got to be selling real estate first.
Oh, yeah. And it keeps those people out, which I really love, actually. It keeps them out where they just think that they can recruit nonstop, and they're just going to spew all this stuff. Where it's really great to go and have conversations with you guys, right? High producers doing big things, and go, does this make sense? It doesn't, And that's why, I mean, I love that you came over here. You were like, hey, I see this. It makes sense.
Well, and really, too, because I wasn't, I haven't been a big recruiter on that side. I haven't felt a lot of love either, because I've been more real estate first, creating producers in my office first, and not going out trying to build a big downline and sell somebody on that dream, which, you've broken it down. There's not a there's a small percentage of people in our industry that are actually successful.
Well, there was you know what's interesting is that there was actually a CEO of one of those companies recently that was on a podcast.
Yeah.
And I actually respect the guy where he was actually really honest. The question was presented to him. Hey, at the company here, how many people are actually really participating in rev share? And that's levels 1 through 7.
Right.
You know, levels 2 through 7 is a whole different game. I won't get into that one, but he talked about levels 1 through 7. How many people are actually participating in that rev share?
Yeah, right, exactly.
The CEO actually said 11%.
Yeah.
Only 11% of his company is actually participating. It's not such a huge number like everybody thinks it is.
Yeah.
And so it needs to be a real estate first type thing, right?
Right. And that's what, my agents have been more interested in transactions and being a real estate agent than trying to be a recruiter. But I really like what Kirby said too. That's where we're similar is, and where we've gotten to know each other over the years, being on panels and things like that is that we're both big into the digital marketing side, have a lot of the same types of accounts, know a lot of the same people in the industry. And I haven't been big, on the print side of things, but I know that's a gap. Actually, it takes everything. It's a full, it's a complete circle.
By the way, guys, I'm no different than you guys do, right? Like I'm heavy internet lead generation. That's always been a weak area. And every time, and you said it, Kirby, it's like every time I thought I want to give more value to my agents, we look at that print, we look at all that stuff, and I'm like, it's not cheap. It's not cheap to
and it's important. It's
not
important.
Cheap, and how he's created different pieces around everything. I would have never came up with those ideas.
Right.
And I don't want to.
Yeah, exactly.
Not my wheelhouse.
No, and awesome is the price of that box what your normal agent gets that say they do a listing or 2 transactions a month. They're not having to create it. You're not going into yourself as me as a broker owner paying a lot of costs. It's shipping and handling. It's included with your stuff. There's no monthly fee. There is no sign-up fee like the other ones. The $195 transaction charge is incredible. Including all the tech, which I love. Being tech guys, my agents being able to do their own self-gen and ads, kind of how we do it Lopa with our bigger accounts with Chime is awesome. It just gives them something to feed in and get a taste of it. Dot Loop being included. I've wanted Dot Loop since Austin sold the company to Zillow way back then. I knew of it then. And just as a brokerage owner, the cost was insane for our size that we do. And being able to have that, it integrates with Follow Boss and all the systems we use. So I'm excited for it. Plus, I know with us being Flex, they're going to love it because that's their whole thing. And with them going, Spruce is their title thing. That all connects to it, though, so they'll be happy with us. And then we have the listing power tools, the whole marketing system, Designer, Dizzy, I think Dizzy, if I'm saying it right.
Dizzy,
that's built in there. Agents want to play with their own stuff. They want to build their own brand. And the thing that I've always felt like a fraud is one, I don't know how to do that stuff, so I've not promoted it, and they should be able to do that, but then I didn't know how to promote it without telling them go spend those huge amounts of dollars that we see when we try doing it. They've got it down to a bulk pricing that they can just go click and connect with their headshot with your info already installed, order their stuff. It's to them in 2 to 5 days, we got our boxes, and they're able to promote themselves their own way. I'm not controlling it, and everybody's profitable off of all the different pieces that makes the cohesiveness of how LPT works.
No, I think it's great for a listing presentation too, just outside of actually utilizing the materials inside the power pack, I call it. But it's I think if the average agent that, let's say, closes 10 transactions a year out of their sphere, if they actually utilize those power packs for every listing and do follow the instructions, they'll double their business for sure.
Yeah. And we all
double
know
or maybe triple it.
And the lawsuits and everything that's on board, that was another big reason I've been making this. I've been looking for 6 months. I've been talking to other broker owners about just taking a super mega team to them. And then I've been talking to, which that we were at the event with. And then I was watching these models because I see the level of some of my friends who in the same coaching groups have blown up by being in those early adopter years. And I feel like an idiot. So, and so this one, I'm like, it's not, and I'll be honest, stupid mistake. I was researching, looking up, and I kept looking up LPT stock, and I thought I didn't know it was pre-IPO. I'm sitting there that one night with you.
Yeah.
And it's like 11:30 at night or 9:30. I don't know what time it was. We're on the comms call with Aaron. And you're like, no, it's pre-IPO. I'm like, wait, what? I'm like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
And so previous career.
That was, I think, when the switch really
yeah, because like I already liked it from the numbers we went over and just on what LPT is bringing value to broker owners out there. So you know that just talk to corporate. They understand what we have to do as far as overhead and things, but talk to corporate. There's always deals to be made. They understand our businesses. And that's where we're talking. And the stuff that it did just on that level was insane. The cap is honestly, like, I don't care. Because here's the thing, me not being a broker now, $15,000 for a cap, I can't buy a corporate broker for $15,000 a year.
Exactly.
So the money's already saved there.
Plus it's all going to come back to you anyway.
In the stock and all the rev share. And all those pieces where I was paying rev share out of my company from my split to all my agents. So right now with ours, we have 84 that we're moving over as an official first move, and 14 of those are receiving downline. They're sponsors with us because we have that rev share. So and they're excited for it, and they're more motivated now because before it was okay, go refer to Schofield Realty. Now it's going to be okay. You can refer anyone. You can be on a plane, and if someone in those states, they can move to it. And so it's just really cool for them to be able to take on an ownership role that they get more of an ownership role within the brokerage. And they get paid for it versus before is the 5% only from me that they move over to that only those team that was right under me. And now it can be anywhere. They could get someone, but they sign them and then they end up coming to Anthony and say, hey, can I be on Anthony's team? And they can join Anthony's team. They're not leaving a brokerage. There's different hubs that we'll both have that they can go to. And they can find the team value that they find the best fits them.
Exactly.
Because we have the same tech, but we have different models with our different advertising, what programs we have. And so it's super cool. The pre-IPO, though, was huge. I used to, my previous career before real estate was 6 years New York Life, fully licensed financial advisor, or not advisor, representative. Can't say advisor. Let's call it representative because they were like the HUD over me. And I gave up all those licenses, went into real estate after 3 years. And then before that, I was a banker with Citibank. I was a business banker and a private banker. And so, and I did pre-IPOs. And the strength of this company and just the teams that are already joined with it, like Anthony said, watching the other players and who we've met now at these events and how they've used the tools to double the conversion just off the print materials. I would not be able, that freaking one about the interest rates that I spoke with Robert. I couldn't create that. I don't have the time or knowledge or ability to create that. And for my agents to be able to get a box of them and every single buyer go out and give that to them. And that's going to give them credibility plus professionalism, and people will come back to them as an agent. It's huge.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys have thought about this, but when we were getting those boxes for my top producer, like, Chris, I'm so busy, I'm not going to have time to do this. And one of the cool things about those boxes is as they get the listings and stuff, it doesn't have to be that listing agent. We're taking our brand new agents on board and putting their face on it, putting that on it. It's great for attraction and building your team
credibility.
Super fast. And then we call it empty the box, right? We give them the box. Here's all your printed material. We promise the seller we're going to go put all this stuff up, and then they go and we call it empty the box, right? And now that brand new agent is getting business right off the bat. And there's a lot of ways to use all those marketing tools to uplift.
We're brand new to this. As this video is going, we're being compliance transferred right now or whatever you call it. But what is it? How you're about 7 months now with them? How long?
Oh, no, just about 4 months in.
4 months. So how long for 4 months them utilizing it? What has been the feedback from the agents on the tools with the print?
Yeah, it's been amazing. They all love it, right? It's because they're going, it's their face, it's their phone number, it's all their information on the material. They get to go out and share it all out, right? And so the clients are loving it. They're using the questions for the buyer. They're using that as their business card, basically here. It's just additional added value to your clients, and the agents love it because it's their big face on it. It's not mine. It's not our big logo, right?
I love that.
You're really giving more value to your agents, and so when you think about from an attraction point of view and a retention point of view, it solved all the problems I was kind of looking for. How do I give more value to my agents? And that's what I kind of wake up every day and going, how do I do this? And I think that a brokerage needs to add that to you, and that's why LPT made such a huge sense to me. trust me, when I went to my agents, my top 10, I was like, what do you guys think? They all loved it. Then I went to my next top 25. And then we unleashed it to the 75 agents on my team. And we're like, okay, guys, this is what we're going to do it. And they were super excited. You were kind of telling me, Anthony, like when you told your team, what'd they do? I mean,
they were very excited, very excited within a couple minutes. Yeah, it was about a 10-minute conversation, if that.
That's
actually,
it.
I probably
You broke your team in 10 minutes. That hey, we're changing brokerages. We're going to LPT, and they were like, let's go.
They can't wait. And it's great for us too, like because now. As far as masterminding, the group that we're in, like we have a strong upline with you in it, with Jeff, Jeff Cook, guys like that are in different markets that we can all collaborate together on our businesses and help each other grow. And then too, I think you've got that greater reach, especially compared to being an independent, where referral networks, things like that, to where, we get people coming from other states and stuff. And so you just have a much, much greater expansion, by being in a
I love that
like
because,
this.
Our previous company, I was up in Reno.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I am up in Reno. You guys are down here in Vegas. Yeah, we didn't have a real strong connection, but now it's like rebuilding and kind of doing it all over. And I just love it.
Yeah.
Love that we're going to be able to expand down here in Vegas and help each other and just
totally
really mastermind.
I think people should know too. It's not a cliche when we say like what you said and what I've been saying about value to agents. People have to know our businesses are built off of attraction and retention.
Yep.
And attraction, we can do whatever to get them, but if it's actually a no-brainer like it was once me and Anthony read into it, it's like I was actually looking for holes. I couldn't. I didn't lose sleep on it at all. The only sleep I sat there laying up at night is, all right, what am I missing? I got every contract. I read every line. Everything's honestly simple versus the other company's contract that I had.
Yeah.
That you'd have to get freaking Google Translate on it sometimes.
Exactly.
What's interesting is we were talking to somebody else recently, a big team, and he actually asked me a question. I thought about it too. He goes, well, what happens when the next company comes along, right? The next rev share, virtual brokers come along, and they have something better. I go, good luck, is what I said. I said, I poked holes in I said, what would happen if I tried to build something like this? How would I build something better? And that's how I went at this company, right? Yeah. I took 6 months myself to take a real hard look at it. And I go, if I was going to build something better than this, what would it look like? And I couldn't come up with it because Robert did such a great job with a hybrid model of having the flat fee side plus the rev share side. He understood that these other companies, not everybody wants rev share. Not everybody's doing that attraction, right? So he has an avenue for those guys that want to do that. But then he's still taking care of the agents with the low of the flat fee.
The low of the flat, there's no monthly, there's no sign up. So, and that was a huge thing for us because we do have, of 84, about 20 that are other jobs and just trying to get into the industry fully. And we're there. Our model was we supported them. We have basically the same splits, but it was there for when they're ready. Yep. And they're paying their LVR dues. They're good people, and there's no reason they shouldn't have a chance with a good company just because they're not already a producer or full time.
I actually have agents. Yeah, and I have agents already that started on that business plan, right? And they've already attracted some people, and they are already switching over from the business builder to the rev share side. They've already attracted 20 people, and they're like, Chris, this is perfect. The plan that you can switch.
I think we have a lot that we're right now in the first 30 days. Jen told me, so we're that's what we're going to do. We're going to probably switch to it. They'll switch from the business builder to rev share once they see the actual benefit of it and not care about the 10 grand difference in cap. If you're a producer, you're going to hit it.
Yep.
And but then back to that's agent attraction, but then agent retention. What I did to my team is I showed them the box and I told them, guys, I suck at print and I suck at open houses, and that's why I've always talked shit about it. And that's my bad because I'm personally attacking what I suck at. And the reality is I can't build the team size or brokerage or help the agents. Because the whole reason we say help the agent value is we make more if agents make more. Mm-hmm. It's simple as that. So the only way I can build bigger is if the agents are actually building bigger and not at 2 years. The average agent, when they leave a brokerage 2 years, I have agents of 8 years. And Anthony does too, his whole team. Yep. And so with the scale that we've been doing on recruiting agents, I'm having that 2 year void was hitting, but it's because I didn't have certain pieces that other big block brokerages had. Mm-hmm. And this gives me the ability to have the same feature. what they have for free for $30 shipping and handling that they would get at a big box brokerage that's had this for years and someone else created it, but they're paying the franchise fees and the splits, and they're also just part of some name that's going to get swallowed up in a lawsuit probably. So that's the other thing, these lawsuits. The lawsuits, currently, nothing was naming them LPT.
Right.
Where everybody else was named, and I'm having agents. So in the last months, once that first one went and didn't get the verdict yet, but when the trial started about a month and a half ago, I think it was, we were already getting agents walk in because they're scared of these other brokerages.
Right.
And they're like, the other day I had something we're doing, and 3 others walked in from another one that just got named in the home buyers lawsuit.
Yep.
So I mean, I don't want to deal with that crap in the future, because the reality is everybody's going to be sitting at Thanksgiving, and realtors are dumb and like to talk, and especially once they're drunk. And there's going to be stuff said that they don't understand with these lawsuits, because a lot of them don't. And it's going to spread through the consumer. And we're going to have a really weird next 2 years of people trying to figure out what we get paid, what we don't. And I want to be with a company that, one, has the brokerage support to handle that, so I'm not dealing with those phone calls. There's no answer until there's a verdict.
Right.
And there's no answer until there's a law.
Yep.
But you're going to get the questions. I don't want to deal with that.
Right.
I want to just go out and sell the person that needs help as far as the client. And then the second thing was when those lawsuits do hit, and it's something that agents were just doing that MLSs or whatever told them to do, and this is how we were trained, this is what our forms were. Now, not the stuff where they're stupid and said seller pays your commission. Like, we're never allowed to say that. But all the other intricacies that are coming out of this and all the copycat stuff, the LPT has the background to cover that with their attorneys. Like, I don't have to deal with that.
Right.
We can just focus on sales first, real estate first.
Yep.
Let them deal with the copycat lawsuits.
Yep.
And because I feel it's going to be about 2 to 3 year period of this copycat craziness that we're going to hit with. Industry is going to go right. It's going to go to what it is for the consumer, right, as far as how it gets paid, the commissions. It's not as crazy as I think they're making it out to be in as many forms. And it'll come back. And by then, if you get with LPT, hit us up. You down with LPT? Someone was doing that. What is it? You down with OPP or something like that?
Yeah.
They're singing that song in my office.
Really?
You down with LPT? So if you get with it, it's 3 years to vest. So by the time all these lawsuits and everything are gone, you built a brand with your name, with the market materials, and you'll be around still as these things get back to normal, as everything gets back to normal, and you'll be vested, and you'll get the pre-IPO stock now, advantages that neither of us had, or you were afterwards too. You weren't.
Yeah, I was after. Yes. After.
So none of us had what we know. Our friends who are in the same industry just made those choices then, that we were hard-headed then, making the choice right now.
Right.
And like Anthony looking at you guys, looking at me, I don't see any holes. I can't find one. And reviewing every piece of the contract, if you're out there watching this video, early adopters right now until 12/31 on the current one for Nevada.
Yeah, for current one for Nevada,
Yeah, so you want to get talking to us before then, because I don't know what changes to then. Everything change. How you explain it to me, as it grows, it cuts down.
Listen, as we grow and we expand, the things are going to start to cut down a little bit.
Cut down on what you get awarded now.
For stock. So, it's always better to be the early adopter, right?
Yeah. And I've always been one that tells, like, when people come with the other models, show me, I'd be like, so if you want to buy stock, just go buy stock in the company. So the difference with that statement towards this is that was you taking your dollars or 5% from your commission before, and you're spending your own money to buy stock. This is you're being awarded stock for performance.
Right.
Not paying for it.
In a company that's not named in a lawsuit, too, because these companies that are named in the lawsuit obviously are going to see their stock decline, I would imagine. So, but
maybe, and LPT will probably get named in one with all the copycat lawsuits. It's just not yet, and we don't have to deal with it.
Yeah.
It's also, I think, too new versus the years of most of these these lawsuits, what they're going for. The lawsuits are just a lot of noise. If you've been doing business right, how we've always trained, and I'm very, I terminate if someone's not integrity first and what's right for the client, period. So we've never been afraid of them, been excited for actually 2024, 2025 due to the lawsuits, due to all the commotion it's going to cause. And me, it was just on growth of the team. This was a big thing, watching for the last 6 months, all different, which model did I want to go to, or was I going to hire a corporate broker with Scope Realty? That was my next step. And we were about to do that. And that's where when we met that night, I was like, and I've been watching. I was just like, this. That's why when you called me, I was like, LPT, and he's like, well, okay, that was easy.